Hi everyone! This video might sound a bit technical, but a diamond ring is not a simple and cheap purchasing process. On top of that, it's a once-in-a-lifetime purchase that holds both sentimental and financial value. If you have not watched our basic diamond education videos, please refer to our videos of how to read a GIA certificate for the basic 4Cs, the HJ tool to check a diamond's proportions, the ASET scope to analyze a diamond's light performance, and the hearts and arrows scope to check a diamond's optical symmetry. If you have not seen this tool already, this is the ASET scope. This is like an X-ray goggle. It reveals how your diamond will actually perform. On a side note, please do not confuse this with this scope. A diamond under the ASET scope will look something like this, and while under the hearts and arrows scope will look something like this. They work very differently. The hearts and arrows scope is to analyze the optical symmetry of a diamond, and it can also come in different colors as it's the reflection of the paper inside of the scope here. The colors do not symbolize anything, it's just to analyze the optical symmetry of a diamond, which is also known as the hearts and arrows scope. So in this video, I'll be focusing on the more important scope, which is the ASET scope. And a big surprise here is that the ASET scope, although useful, has several limitations as well. So how should the ASET scope be used? Here's a basic refresher of what the ASET does. And if you already know how it works, you can skip to understand its limitations. The ASET scope helps to ensure the light performance of a diamond by tracing the light path of a diamond in different angles. From the ASET image of a diamond, it reveals to us which part of the diamond is returning light back out or leaking straight through. Here's the ASET image of a high light performing diamond, which is also known as a super ideal cut. The red areas on the ASET scope shows the strong light return, which translate to these white bright areas when you see a diamond in a white light environment, such as offices or natural outdoor cloudy day. These green areas you see here are weak light return. Generally, they reflect lights that are entering the diamond at a 45 degrees angle. What this means is if you're standing in a room with, say, pink walls, these green areas would reflect any pink reflection that is entering the diamond from this acute angle. Right now, the actual diamond photo is taken in a dark room, which is why it's grayish in color now. The blue areas you see on the ASET represents the contrast in a diamond, which causes it to look black on the actual stone. These contrast areas are basically head shadows or head obstruction when you are viewing the diamond from the front. In this case, when this actual photo was taken with a camera, these black areas are actually the obstruction caused by the camera lens. And finally, we have these white areas. These white areas are light leakages in a diamond where you can literally see straight through. Light leakages are like glass windows in a diamond which would not have any reflection, brightness or fire. Basically, you want these white areas or light leakages to be as minimal as possible. And I have to remind you that the GIA certificate does not reveal this or grade the light performance of a diamond. Now let me show you how a typical GIA triple excellent diamond looks like. It is graded with an excellent cut, excellent polish, and excellent symmetry. And this is the typical type of diamond that most vendors sell as an ideal cut because on the GIA certificate, it has the top cut grade. Now when you notice on the ASET scope, see how much whites and green areas or light leakages the diamond has. Because of the light leakages, the diamond in real life would look very dim and dull with little light return or brightness. By this point, you can imagine how important the ASET scope is now and why you must always use it to check a diamond before buying one. These two diamonds are both GIA triple excellent diamond with the same cut grades on the certificate, but look entirely different. You don't want to end up paying so much for a poor light performing stone. Now the ASET scope has several limitations too. Number one is it shouldn't be taken on a black lit background. Number two, the ASET image only functions as a face up 90 degrees angle. Number 3, the power level of the light source influences the color of the ASET. And lastly, number 4 is it does not show the fire dispersion of a diamond. So let's start off with point 1. Here's a poor light performing diamond under an ASET scope taken with a white background. Notice that there are light leakages or weak light return under the table. This can easily be seen in the scope image right now. Now look what happens when I change it to a black lit background. Notice the light leakages are much harder to spot now. In fact, the light red areas earlier has now become dark red colors, which has a totally different meaning. These are the two ASET images of the same diamond under a white and black lit background. See the big difference? This is why we only show our ASETs in white background and not black background, as you can mislead consumers into thinking the diamond is better than what it actually is. In the next point, point 2, is that you're never going to see a diamond at a perfect 90 degrees angle all the time. In real life, when you're wearing a diamond ring, your hands are always moving. Your friends or strangers are going to look at your diamond at different tilted angles. The ASET image, on the other hand, only tells the performance of your diamond at that perfect 90 degrees angle. So how do you analyze the diamond in these real-life scenarios at different angles? Well, the answer is actually simple. You can request for an ASET rotational video analysis of your diamond. Here is an example of a diamond with a good ASET image from the front 90 degrees angle. Now look what happens when I start tilting it. Notice that at slight tilted angles, it starts showing these pockets of light leakages over there. These problematic areas would not be detected on the still ASET image alone. Now let me switch it to a super ideal cut diamond. Likewise, it looks perfect from the still image on the front, and when we start rotating the ASET, you can see that it has less light leakages areas during these tilted angles as compared to the other diamond. This makes it an all-round brighter diamond, which you wouldn't have known unless you compared these two diamonds side by side or seen the rotational ASET video. Now let me show you guys something interesting. As some of you might have known, we have a white series collection where these diamonds are designed and cut to the maximum light performance. Here is one of our white series diamond cut, the Decagon 10 Hearts and Arrows. Watch what happens when I start rotating the ASET and compare it to the super ideal cut. See how much redder it is and how there's no light leakages at these tilted angles? This is because the white series line is designed to have an extreme level of brightness. This makes the diamond appear much whiter and brighter than it should be. You know, even a G color Decagon would look as white and bright as even a D or E color super ideal cut. Next up is point 3, which is the power level of the light source when the ASET image is taken. Vendors can control the backlight power source. What this means is that the power light source can be adjusted weaker or stronger. For example, here is a super ideal cut diamond in a low, medium and high backlight power. Notice that at lower power level, the red areas are darker and more intense. And when we start increasing the power level of the light source, the red areas get slightly lighter. Now here's one problem with this. In Gen Pol, we limit our super ideal cut's crown angle to 35 degrees. This is because once the crown angle goes beyond 35 degrees, that's where you get weaker light return on the table. Let me take out a diamond that has a 35.5 degrees crown angle. Here is the ASET scope of it with a high backlight power. Notice the obvious light leakages under the table where there is very little light red areas. They are on the borderline of full light leakages and are becoming completely white. Now let's adjust the light power to a medium level. Notice that the table looks more red now and the white light leakages are less obvious. And when we adjust it to a low light power, the light leakages are completely gone. The table is a very dark red, which looks more like an intense light return. Also, if you pay attention to the girdles, where it was originally full light leakages, which was white in color. Under a low light power, it's no longer white but green, which people will mistake for weak light return. You see the problem with this now? Vendors can simply adjust the power of the light source to enhance the ASET image of a diamond. Now let me show you something interesting. This is the different light power level of a super ideal cut. And here is the ASET scope of one of our white series decagon diamond in different light power levels as well. Notice that at higher power level, the decagon still remains very red, especially at the table area. This is because our white series line is engineered to have an extreme light return even higher than the super ideal cut rounds. The true intensity of a diamond's brightness or light return is not reflected in the standard ASET image if the power level is not strong enough. Which also explains why, when you compare a white series diamond next to a super ideal cut of the same color grade under a white light environment, the white series will always appear whiter and brighter. And finally, the last point 4, is the fire dispersion. The ASET image can give you a rough idea of a diamond's fire and scintillation. But don't forget, this is only at a static view when the diamond and your viewing eye is stationary. It does not take into account different facet structures or higher faceted diamonds. For example, here are the ASET image of a super ideal cut and white series round 10 hearts and arrows. The super ideal cut is a 57 faceted diamond, while the round 10 hearts and arrows has 111 facets. When we compare them under the ASET scope, they have a similar amount of red areas where they both have a good amount of light return. They have a good balance of blue areas, which is the contrast as well. The round 10 hearts and arrows has more blue but thinner arrows, while the super ideal cut has less but thicker arrows. All in all, the amount of blue areas are about the same. From the ASET, we can't tell that the round 10 hearts and arrows is a higher faceted diamond either. Now let me show you the diamonds under the JMax viewer. See the big difference? This is the only way you can measure the fire dispersion of a diamond, which is by using the JMax viewer. Do note, this is not to be confused with the JMax Light Performance Report. The JMax viewer is useful to show the dispersion and scintillation performance of a diamond, but what it does not show is if a diamond is over contrasted or the brilliance of it or its light return. Now here's a GIA triple excellent diamond that is typically sold as an ideal cut. You can see that it does not have good fire or scintillation at all. Unfortunately, this type of diamonds are very commonly sold in the market as ideal cuts, as their cut, polish and symmetry are all graded excellent on the GIA certificate. These days, obtaining the ASET scope from vendors is already a difficult task. It's a trend that most jewelers have taken off their website or stopped showing completely, even when requested. We sincerely hope that by continually educating you guys, it will push vendors to be more transparent and provide more information. With this growing trend, it's just painful to watch when 5-6 years ago, tools like the ASET scope were much more widely available and accessible, when information was more transparent. These are the problems in the industry, and in most countries in the world, there are no tight regulations. Over the years, we have been pushing the industry to be more transparent by educating our clients on the front end and Paul improving cut standards with his involvement with diamond cutters all over the world. We've found that it has been a great challenge and the industry has been removing important tools, details, or sometimes even not providing the diamond certificate openly. That being said, there are some very reputable and transparent vendors in the United States. However, they are the ones suffering the most in the world of social media, where most jewelers are pushing the notion that buying a diamond is a very simple 1, 2, 3 process with as little details as given as possible. In actuality, buying a diamond is a once-in-a-lifetime purchase, and there is so much information to know before making a choice. We sincerely hope that through these educational videos, vendors would be pushed to have more transparency as consumers are getting more knowledgeable, they are forced to change. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and thank you for your time.